Finally, Friday weather for Weather Geeks time on this Friday afternoon. I showed this graphic on social media and on 21 News at 11 last night. I'm getting the winter blues myself. I'm tired of trudging around in the glaciers that are sitting outside and bundling up every day. And I'm looking forward to spring more and more with each passing day. So here's a list of some kind of benchmark dates coming up with some interesting items here. Solar spring begins today. What is solar spring? Well, that's a way of looking at things a little differently, and basically it's the 3-month period in which sunlight increases the most rapidly. We're gaining about 2.5 minutes of daylight a day now, so we're into the period now where we're gaining daylight at the most rapid pace. We just finished solar winter, which is the 3-month period with the least amount of daylight in our calendar year, and that runs from about November 5th to February 5th. Our sun will start setting later than 6 p.m. on the 18th, so that's just a little less than 2 weeks away. On the 27th, sunrise hits 7 a.m. That'll be nice, especially for the kids at the bus stop. March 1st, the beginning of meteorological spring. Meteorological seasons, a little bit different than maybe you're used to thinking of. Meteorological spring, the 3-month period in which our average temperatures are going up at their fastest rate. Meteorological winter, the 3 coldest months of the year, December, January, February, and March, April, and May are that's the 3-month block in which our average temperatures are rising the most quickly for the entire year. Daylight saving time begins on March the 8th, and as we set the clocks ahead, sure, the sunrises get later for a while, but the sunset there on the evening of March 8th will be at 7:25, something like that. So that's only about a month away. The sunsets will be around 7:30. So that's something to look forward to. And astronomical spring, or the start of the season that most people think about. Most people don't consider anything other than the astronomical seasons, and that's certainly fine. As meteorologists, we tend to look at things a little bit differently. But astronomical spring begins on March the 20th this year. So some things to look forward to there. I mentioned the sunrise and sunset times. Here's a quick chart of where we are as far as the daylight right now. Today is the 6th. Sunrise this morning, 7:28. Sunset at 5:45 this evening. We're gaining 2 minutes and 21 seconds of daylight right now, and this will continue going up. So by the end of the month, by the end of February, right down here, we're gaining 2 minutes and 40 seconds a day of daylight, and that certainly is a good thing, and the sun is getting higher in the sky. As we get deeper into February, the higher the sun angle, the better or the more efficient the sun is at melting snow and heating your car up and that sort of thing during the day. It gets harder for snow to stick when it's falling during the day as we get later in the winter season and that sun gets higher and higher in the sky. Well, speaking of the sun, we had lots of that yesterday, not as much today. It's turned out to be a cloudier day as we expected, but it's also a somewhat milder day today. Yesterday we only reached about 13, 14 degrees on average. We're about 10 higher than that today. It's 23 in the 1 o'clock hour in Youngstown, 22 Newcastle, 26 over in Ravenna. These are false echoes out here in western Ohio, some virga, precipitation evaporating before it reaches the ground. Not a lot of showstoppers on the radar across much of the east today. It's the west, actually, that is getting set for a period of pretty unsettled weather. Lots and lots of rain and mountain snow heading into central northern California, up into parts of the Pacific Northwest as well. That's where most of the action is going to be in the near term. That said, we do have some interesting things to talk about as we head into the upcoming weekend. So let's get to that. I think tonight is quiet. I think tomorrow is largely quiet. As we take a look at, Saturday afternoon and evening, a front will start to get strung out right in through here. Probably far enough to the north that while we have a lot of clouds around Saturday, I think we do stay dry. I can't quite rule out a touch of maybe some very light rain or drizzle towards the end of the day on Saturday. I think precipitation is a little more likely later Saturday night into Sunday as this front starts sagging to the south. Here is Sunday afternoon. Low pressure out here. Our front up in here. Notice if you look carefully, we're in the green sector here. It's going to warm up to 40 in some spots on Sunday. Let me actually zoom into a little bit closer to northeast Ohio and western PA. Here's Sunday afternoon. Now, again, a little bit of rain or just some drizzle around on Sunday. Frozen precipitation staying off to our north, it looks like, on Sunday during the day. Here's Sunday evening. Notice that purple and pink area starting to sink off to the south, and so becoming a little more concerned up by the lakeshore, Cleveland over to Ashtabula, that by Sunday evening might start seeing some freezing rain trying to set up there. We'll be above freezing here in the WFMJ viewing area through much of Sunday evening. As we get into the overnight and the cold air continues to press southward, this is when things might get a little bit trickier. By 1 in the morning, Monday morning, low pressure down here, our front sagging to the south, Youngstown right here, and in the I-80 region and points north especially. By the overnight, we might start to see some sort of sleet, freezing rain mixture. The lower levels of the atmosphere will be cooling off quicker than the upper levels, so the upper levels stay warm enough for rain, but the lower levels down here where we live, temperatures will start dropping below freezing, so that rain might fall into sub 32 degree air. Might be a few hours worth of sleet, freezing rain shenanigans Monday morning in the wee hours. By daybreak on Monday, as most of us are getting up to go to work and school, I think that the entire column of the atmosphere will be cooling below freezing, so any sort of sleet, freezing rain mix will be pushing east by 7, 8 o'clock, and we'll start to get into just some scattered snow showers. Don't expect the snow to add up, but one thing we're going to have to watch out for is with temperatures falling quickly, maybe a little layer of ice, maybe just a touch of snow Monday morning. There could be some slick spots Monday morning. Not sure if it's enough to cause a lot of problems, not sure if it's enough to cause school delays, but, I do think that there is the possibility anyway of some pockets of slick travel Monday morning. Otherwise, next week going to be dominated by fairly quiet weather. Let's skip ahead to the end of the week because the big story is going to become the cold. I'm going to zoom back out here so we can get kind of a broader perspective of things. Another Arctic cold front's coming our way at the end of next week, probably around Thursday. Here's Thursday afternoon. Boy, is this a cold-looking weather map with a cold front pushing east, winds howling out of the north to northeast, off the lakes, snow showers around, falling temperatures. Thursday could be a real tough day next week, and then Friday, maybe the coldest day of the winter so far. Our coldest high so far this season has been 12. That happened back in January. Yesterday's high was 13 or 14. This could be a day coming up next Friday, a week from today, if everything pans out right, where we struggle to get out of the single digits. In fact, here's the GFS high temperature next Friday, only around 6. That doesn't factor in the wind. That's the actual temperature. Not sure if that's going to be right yet, but whether it's 6 or 10 or 11 or 12 even, real harsh cold for a day or two at the end of next week. Valentine's Day, of course, next Saturday. Temperatures will start to rebound, it looks like, over the weekend, but still very, very cold. And this is a cold pattern, it looks like, for at least the next week to 10 days. Might even take us through the end of February. So mild December, but January was colder than average. February is going to certainly end up being colder than average. Our winter forecast put out at the end of October called for a winter that was below average temperature-wise by about 3 degrees when you factor in all 3 months. And we might get awfully close to that forecast after a very mild December. That goes to show you how things have turned. All right, that's today's weather for Weather Geeks. I will see you right back here on Monday. Hope you have a good weekend. Andrew DePaulo in 21 News 6 and 11 both days this weekend. He'll bring you an update on the Sunday night into Monday morning situation, and he'll have some surely some kind of scary numbers for high temperatures and low temperatures in his 7-day forecast for the end of next week. Have a good weekend.